Hey everybody, James here. Hi. Got some fun stuff for today. I'm stoked about this one. I was hoping to be able to get some of this yesterday, but like I said, I had a little outpatient surgery. Not surgery. It's just a procedure. It's not really major. I've done it a bunch. It's one of those things that it kind of shuts me down for the rest of the day. I got back problems. Backs are stupid, and it's hereditary, and there's nothing I can do about it. But it is what it is, right? And so it kind of shuts me down for the rest of the day. It's at a far off place that I have to go drive to. Yay. But let's dive into the things that are going to be fun today. So, what I wanted to show, what I want to talk to you about, we've got two things. We've got a reveal, and there's an add-on coming your way. So, let me throw up on the screen. Hey, Dust, how you doing? I love that. I love this background. It's so good. Let's talk about this reveal. So this is the forge has now been corrupted, and this card is gonna what it's gonna allow you to do is when you forge, you're going to have two options. You can gain a shard to forge an exhausted chip instead of an active chip. So this is going to give you a ton of flexibility. I don't know how many times I am torn on what I have as an active chip that I'm like, I don't want to have to forge one of these. Man, look at all those nasty, stupid little things in exhausted that I could get rid of. Now you can do that. You just got to pay a shard. You just got to take a little corruption. Or your other option is if you forge your active chip. So you forge a chip that is an active row like normal with the highest strength. You can discard two shards. So maybe that corruption has really gotten a little bit too, it's in there too deep. It's got you too much. And this is going to give you an option. And then obviously this is very situational. You might be very lucky that your highest strength chip when you land on a forge is a 1 or a 2, or you've just had a bunch of 1s and you can get this benefit and not have to really give up anything big. Sometimes you might have your big old chunky rook castle out there. There's a 6 and you're like, oh gosh, but I'm really high on shards. I really want to get rid of some shards. Definitely through my playtests of the expansion, there's a lot of shards flowing around the game. And, that tipping point of, am I the person who has the most shards at the end of the tea party that gets to discard half of them, can really affect how you want to try to play your shard game, right? And so these different measures that we've added to the game in the expansion that are going to let you manipulate shards a lot more, it will come into effect, right? Like if you've piled up 12, 13, 14 shards and you never get to kind of cut those in half, that's a substantial amount of points that you're going to lose. It could cost you the game. So the Corrupted Forge this is not a stretch goal. It's just a reveal. We're adding this to the expansion. Where it's a bit of a mix, like some things we're adding, like the shards, like I said, was not planned at all. And so we spent a little bit more money to upgrade those things. That's, that's why it was a stretch goal. This is a single card. We had this planned and we were happy to reveal it. So I'm stoked. And you will get to see this in its glory tonight on the Bonzinator stream with me and Tim in the Bonds, giving this a play. Okay? So that's the Forge card that has been revealed today, and it is added to all expansions. There's nothing you need to do. If you get this in the Pledge Manager, you buy this 2 years from now on my web store, this will be a part of the expansion. It is being added to the expansion pledge level, period. All right, now the one that you've all been waiting for, or at least one of the things you've been waiting for, let's talk about the base rings that are going to be added as an add-on. Okay, so this is not a reveal. This is not a stretch goal. This is a new add-on. Obviously, a lot of people have asked us for the base rings. They are not necessary to play the game. I've never played my hundreds of plays with base rings. I personally don't have an issue. We group all of our Wonderlandians and supporters and leaders and whoever into little piles, into little groups. And so you can see that if the unicorn is with Alice and her supporters, then that's who she belongs to. So you can still do that if you want. But there are some of y'all who really wanted base rings. And so we have designed some. We have checked with manufacturing and got our quotes back. There's going to be 30 rings in the set. So for $12, you'll be able to get these 30 rings. And as you can tell, as we do, we don't just make regular plain base rings. It's a cool design by Manny that will work for the base rings and they look so good. They turned out so good. We're planning on making these with a softer material. So I don't want to say they're going to completely be like rubber, but they'll be a bit softer. So they won't be super hard plastic that snaps on and snaps off. They're going to kind of, they'll kind of peel. I don't know if that's the right word, but they'll be softer. And there's a couple reasons for that. Bases can warp somewhat. And if that is up against, so you got two hard PVC pieces of plastic trying to lock into each other, they don't get a good fit. Whereas if this is a softer rubber, it can attach itself to any form. Also for people who have already painted their minis, so they've painted their bases or customized their bases, this will help keep them from damaging that. So you can add those and it shouldn't be a big worry. And generally they give the minis a little bit more tackiness. So when you sit them on the board, they don't just slide around everywhere. They've got a bit of tack to them. Obviously, this is not all set yet, so we'll obviously run these through prototypes, and we'll make sure that they work the way that I'm describing. And if they can't, for some reason, or any of those categories that I just listed changes, I'll obviously let you know. But this is the design, $12. Each faction will have 6 rings, 6 rings each. Again, we went back and we looked through data. We talked about, the different ranges of Wonderlandians that you see in a typical game that a player would get. And so 3 smaller rings, which are the majority of our Wonderlandians, and then we're going to have essentially, it's going to be a little different for each for factions. So essentially here it is. You've got 3 factions, the Cheshire, Mad Hatter, and Alice. They have the smaller base on their leader. And we wanted the base rings to be able to add to the leader as well, so that you don't have to paint them if you don't want to identify them. They can match everything else that's on the board. So those 3 need a smaller ring. So those factions will have 4 small, 2 big to make up their 6. Okay? Because one's going to be dedicated to their leader. Then with the Jabberwocky and the Red Queen, they have the bigger base. So they will have 3 small, 3 big. And that way the big ring can go on their leader. And you've got the same amount of rings across the board that's useful for the Wonderlandians. Now I already hear some of you saying, yeah, I had a game one time where I got 6 Wonderlandians. Of course that is possible. But it just doesn't make sense to make, just to have a 75 ring setup, right? To cover these really wild Spectrum cases. This is going to cover 98% of the games. Now, if you want more rings, you can always just add on 2 add-on packs and get 60 rings. And then if, that's not enough, I don't know what to do with you. But honestly, we went back and forth. I pitched 25. I thought 5 would be enough for each faction. The team pushed me to go up to 6. And I think that's fine. I think it's fine. The more we add, the higher the price has to be. So it's finding that perfect line. It's that, it is. It's that perfect line of what's the right amount. And plus I don't want to make more plastic to go in the world than we have to. So it really is trying to find that perfect line of how many do we need in a typical game that also gives you the product at the lowest price that we can. So, again, obviously we're very extra. It's a James thing. I want these to be beautiful. I like the way these look. You know, I don't like just the plain miniature rings. We can make them this way. So we're going to. It's going to be awesome. So there you go. You've asked for these. This isn't the only. This is not the end of the road. We're still looking into several other things. There's not a lot of time left, but we can always add an add-on into the pledge manager as well, and you can add that on. So we're not constrained by time limits. But I'll probably do another video on the yeses and nos around any of these things that you've asked for. Honestly, just because I want you to know why we said yes or no to any of those, because they're complicated. In most cases, or they come with complications. Cool. So Forge card, corrupted, boom, revealed in your game. It's yours. Expansion. Your expansion game, if you're getting the expansion. Base rings, $12 to add those on. Add them on if that's what you've been looking for. There you go. And they will add some weight. They will be another pick, so they will increase your shipping. I can't get around that. They're not very heavy, so they're not going to add very much overall in the pick fee, depending on however many picks we have with our fulfillment. Hopefully it won't add but a couple dollars to your shipping. It shouldn't be much. At the most, a couple bucks at the most. And last little point, our last little talking point I had was, what would you guys be interested? I used to do these a long time ago. What's James backing on crowdfunding, whether it be Kickstarter or other things. And I just didn't have the bandwidth to keep doing it. And I used to do them specifically live on Facebook. I had a little logo made and everything. And I did it several years ago, and it was a lot of fun. Back when this thing was first coming out. I know a lot of people do these now. But, just as I found out yesterday when I shared the other two small indie games, we got that one game funded. Like the Galen reached out to me and was like, "Thank you, the community, the Wonderland War community put us over." And that's a relief. That is a big deal for a first time creator. I remember launching Barnyard and seeing when it got funded, and you're like, I get to do this thing. I didn't know what I was signing up for at the time, but it's a great feeling to know you get to do this thing. And that Super Sniper game has won, was a finalist in a game design. That kind of stuff it means it's a quality game, and it looks cool. And so it feels great to support small indies who are trying to just do the same thing I was trying to do 6 years ago. Why wouldn't? I think The Rock says something along the lines of, with any success, just bring people with you, right? So why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't I want to help anybody that I can help? That's just the way I try to do the things. So anyway, I'm going to probably share some more of those. And I know some people are like, I didn't sign up for that. I don't want that. But just scroll by, man. Just scroll on through, Don't even look at it. It's not that big a deal. 2 scrolls and you're past it. I'm not going to be spending huge amounts of time in our updates featuring those. It's going to be 2 sentences, a screen, an image for you to go see something if you think it looks cool. Nobody's twisting your arm, so just calm down. And if you don't like it, then you probably don't like me, because I feel like that's what we should do. We should share this sort of stuff. We should help people. Come on, you're good. You can go give it a look. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah, look at that. Under 15 minutes today. I'm really excited about where everything's at with the campaign. Heading into the last week. Tomorrow we'll be on that 7-day countdown, which is awesome. Got some cool stuff to show you next week. Another surprise or two maybe. And, again, we're still working on some of those other items like the overlay boards and things. I'll tell you, those look tough to pull off. They're expensive. They're going to get damaged. There's a lot of... I'll do a video on that. But we're still looking, there's been suggestions by the fans of things that they might want that would be a nice alternative. And so we're working on some stuff. We're mocking some stuff. We're getting things priced. It's not just doing stuff on the fly is harder because there's a lot of things that we have to try to take into consideration. It's not just making an item to make it available for you. We're not Amazon. It doesn't just magically go into a warehouse that can instantly be shipped to you. There's a lot of additive things that happen. Plus, I don't want to add anything that's going to mess up that July delivery date. And some things, have bigger engineering. They have bigger bandwidth requests of design and testing and, making molds and things like that would extend that. It would push it out. So do we want everything to be delayed because we tried to add one thing in the middle of the campaign that we didn't have planned? Some of you are going to be absolutely, if it gets me the thing that I really wanted, and some of you are going to be like, oh my God, I'll burn the building down. So we take a lot of things into consideration when we're thinking about adding something mid-campaign. So anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments about these two things. And I'd also really love to hear whether or not you're interested in the What's James Backing video. That might just be something that I add to the YouTube channel. I could do it live. We could do it together so people could comment, because there is a live stream function, but those typically aren't very well attended because we're all busy. So I'd probably do a VOD. That's video on demand of what I'm backing. Anyway, all right. I did it. I went over 15 minutes because it's just in my nature. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for checking in on me yesterday also with my procedure. It just made yesterday's update not possible. But I'm back today. So talk to you soon. Bye.